Sorry, I'm playing around. This off. Bring this up. Hello, good morning. Sorry, yes, I was just trying to get my camera straight. So good morning. Welcome in on this Good Friday morning as we are here in the UK, and I'm sure you are around the world, but if you're joining us live, so do welcome in. And thank you for coming to join us whenever and wherever you're joining us from. Do pop on and say hello. It's lovely to have you with us. So my name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and come on twice a week where I can to do some crafting with you, and that's what we're going to do this morning. So let's bring this up. So this is me. This is where you will find my website, www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and that's where you'll find my blog posts, my links to my shops, my classes, all of those sorts of things. And there is going to be some work going on in the classes department over the weekend, hopefully. So yeah, do look out for some new classes, new details about new classes popping up over on there. So do go and check that out. And wherever you're looking for me on social media, be it Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, you'll find me, Instagram, under Love-a-Duckie. So yeah, do go and follow me wherever. If you would like to, if you're here close by somewhere in Northamptonshire and you would like to come and join us for an all-day craft retreat, we've got one coming up in June. So do get your place booked on that. It is an entire day, starts at 9:30 in the morning, goes through till 8 o'clock at night. You get fed all the day. Yeah, including a lunch and an evening meal. You have a beautiful kit of goodies, lots of inspiration and lots of fun times. So do come and join for that in person. If you're not able to join us in person, but you're still here in the UK, you could always have a retreat in a box and join us in spirit, but have all the same loveliness, apart from obviously the meals. I can't provide you those in a box, but it would be lovely to have you join us for a retreat in a box as well. And not necessarily a retreat in a box, but a treat in a bag would be to receive one of the annual catalogues. So if you're not getting an annual catalogue from another demonstrator that you know of, and again, you're here in the UK, do reach out to me. I would be happy to send you one of these beautiful new annual catalogues. They are now in the building. I just need to get them prepared and ready to send out. So if you want to get your name added to that list of recipients, then do reach out to me. Message me directly, or you can go to my website. If you go to the contact tab at the top, a request a catalogue tab will drop down, or simply go to www.loveaduckie.co.uk /request -a -catalogue and fill in the form there, and I will send one out to you. I'll perhaps come back to my spring clean in a minute. Let's remove that and let's come back up here just for a minute. So yeah, so on Monday, no, it wasn't actually, it was Tuesday, we were looking at things that are going to be carrying over into the new catalogue, but are not going to be available at a bundle price. And of course, items that are bundled, you get a 10% discount on. So we're going to look at a couple of other things today that are going to be available. You're going to still be able to get them, but you're not going to be able to get them with that discount. So let's have a look what I have out on my desk. Let's bring you in down here. There we go. And I have a couple of things here. We have some wires dangling everywhere. Let's see if we can get rid I have the Brilliant Wings, the Butterfly Brilliance and the Brilliant Wings stamp and die. Gorgeous stamp set, and the dies are just stunning that go with it. So currently you can get this at 10% off. You'll still be able to get both portions, but not at 10% off. And the other thing is the colour and contour bundle. Now the scalloped contours, we come back to these rectangles time and time again. They are just so useful. But we can, hi Elaine, we can overlook perhaps slightly the other dies that are in here, these floral ones, and they of course go with this colour and contour stamp set, which has got these lovely floral images on. I actually used the floral image on here for my bookmark that went out with my catalogues last year, with last year's annual catalogue. So yeah, a good reminder to be not forgetting that. So obviously, as I say, you'll get both of those sections. These scallop contours used time and time again. They're so useful. But if you want that little stamp set as well, and there's some really lovely sentiments in there, and there's a splattery blobby stamp. You know, I love a splattery blobby stamp. You need to be thinking about getting your hands on them while they're still at bundle price. So, quick slurp of water. I think we'll start with this. The really lovely thing about this stamp set is you can do some really quite simple projects with it. Ooh, stamps have moved about in there. You can do some, quite stunning but simple sort of projects with it. Let's have a look. I think I'm going to take this large floral stamp just here. That's looking a bit grubby, isn't it? We'll make sure that that's clean before we start. It may be staining on it, but just in case. Let's give that a good rub. We have lots of ways of cleaning your stamps, but the stamping scrub was one of the first things that I brought and is still so useful. It's just that top edge of that stamp. I don't know whether it's maybe that I've used it with some stays on and it's stained, but we've given it a good clean to make sure it's not coming off. Okay, what colours shall we have? Let's grab some of the in colours. These are the 2021-2023 in colours. So these are staying with us for another year yet. So let's make the most of them. Got my piercing mat. And I'm actually going to die cut this. I'm going to do it on an angle just so that it fits on that piece of card. And then we shall die cut it. So I have done the background in soft succulent. So that's going to give me a green stem. It's going to give me green leaves. But we're now going to bring in this funny looking stamp just here. Because that is going to colour in these images for us. I'm going to come in with pale papaya. Let's ink up our pale papaya. Tap, 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 tap. we will wiggle this until we are in the right position. Let's come round. We've got this little piece here that is obviously the bud. So it helps if you haven't got your stamp upside down, Helen. So there's the bud. There's that one. Now they don't line up perfectly. The idea is that they do just add some colour over the top. So like that. So let us find the die that cuts that out, which is that one just there. Just wondering whether I want a scallop for it to sit on. I think we will perhaps do a scallop for it to sit on. And I will do that out of some basic white. Just going to chop a piece of A4 card in half and then in half again to give me a piece to play with. So we're going to cut out that scallop. We're going to cut out that piece just there. I'm going to run them through my large machine. Just grabbing my plates, I had to put them safely away. Sorry if I'm nudging you a little, I'm just giving myself a bit more lead on my headphones. Right, so while I'm lining this up, any of you that's been following me in the last little while will know that I've started a 28-day spring clean challenge. If you're wondering why you've not seen anything for a couple of days, I had my grandson to stay, and we were far too busy getting things out to play with, to worry about putting things away that we play with. So I will get back on it and I will catch up. But sometimes your creativity has to take the form of making microphones out of toilet roll inners. Well, actually, that was his creativity. I can't take any credit for that. I'm sure he's going to be an engineer or some such. Right, so we have our scalloped rectangle. We have our beautiful flower just there. To grab a blending brush, let me just give it a good rub to make sure not too much colour is coming out of it. And I'm going to take the fresh freesia. Pick up some of that ink. I have got the door open this morning. It's very beautiful. So apologies if you can hear lots of noise from outside. We have an aeroplane by the sound of it just flying by. So I'm just going to add some of this fresh freesia, this sort of soft, I don't know, lilac-y, pinky type colour to the background. Don't want it to be too dark. Hello, Angie. There we go. And then I'm also going to take my splattery stamp. And let's just add a few little fresh freesia splatters in the background. And actually where that sits on the top now, because we have the fresh freesia behind it, I'm just going to add in a bit of a fresh freesia blush on there as well, so it sort of disappears a little bit more into the background. To pop this up on some dimensionals. Let's take some scissors. And let's cut a little slither off the side there. We'll add that down the stalk, and I'll put this other piece in this leaf. There we go. So we've got some really nice greetings in this stamp set. Here for you, you're absolutely amazing. Thank you for everything. So very happy for you. I like this here for you now and in better days ahead. That's rather lovely, isn't it? So we'll think of a sentiment. But what sort of a card shall we have for our pretty flower topper? I'm going to grab some fresh freesia cardstock, and we might have a think about an embossing folder. Let me grab my cardstock. So I'm going to cut a standard card base size out of here. So that's 14.85, just under 14.9. Going to score it just there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a bone folder. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to rest that up against the top of my trimmer and bring this edge so it's also resting up against the top of my trimmer. And then take my bone folder and just trim that. Let's pop the lid on here. Pretty, pretty. Now what I'm going to do is also so I'm just rifling through my embossing folders. To take this 3D stripes embossing folder, let's emboss this front piece here, but I'm also going to emboss this back piece just here. So there's that front piece embossed. And I'm going to take that so it slightly overlaps that piece. It will possibly flatten this front piece a little bit, just because it's being embossed. I wonder if we can. No, that will still flatten it. Well, not too bad. It's flattened it slightly on that edge, but that's okay because this is going to come down here anyway. And what I'm going to do is measure the inside of this section just here. Let's say 6.5 centimeters by 10. Six and a half, 10. Right, I'm going to bring in some large dimensionals. Let's move that out of the way. And I need to put some dimensionals just down 1/2 of this mat, because we don't want them sticking over the edge. Let's line that up just there. That will now open like that. I'm going to line this piece up sort of in the middle of those stitch lines on there. That's looking a bit squidgy on that corner. Let's just spread that across so it doesn't squidge out the edge. And I'm going to close the card over. And then we have a nice panel in there that we can't see when it's closed. And I think we're going to go for that. Here for you now, and in better days ahead. Just dig around and find. I think the G block will work for this one, but not for this one. So I'm going to come diagonally on there. And I think we'll come back to the soft succulent. Tap, tap, tap. Here for you now. Tap, tap, tap. I am going to cut these out, so I know that they're out of order, but that's okay. And in better days ahead. I'm going to grab my long scissors. Sorry, that was a bit of a sigh. Chop across there. Still a bit wonky on this edge. We'll have that at a bit of a angle, and we'll have that coming here. Oh, I've got a blob on there now. We'll find something to sort out our blob. Now, because this front panel is raised up with dimensionals, I'm going to put a dimensional on the very end of here. And then we'll get a glue dot to go on the other end. So the dimensional will sit over there and the glue dot just there. I think I might take some silver thread. The silver thread is carrying over the Simply Elegant trim, the silver and gold. It is lovely just for adding in a touch of bling. It does have a mind of its own. It's quite curly. This is where you think, yes, I am absolutely going mad. I had the glue dots in my hand. I've got the box. Here they are. And then I think, what shall we have? Elegant faceted gems. They'd be quite pretty on there. pop one just there where we've had that bit of a blob. Have one up here and one down there, I think. So there we have a little bit of a simple fancy fold card. Got that embossed detail in the background and that really lovely, just really simple floral image, but they are so pretty. So you absolutely need to have the scalloped contour dies. You need those rectangles. You need those that scalloped edge. But actually don't miss the opportunity to have this really beautiful little floral image stamp set as well. And the dies obviously go with that. The other one is hidden somewhere about us. But yeah, so really, really useful. So get it at bundle price while you can and make the most of that and get that gorgeous stamp set at the same time that you get those dies if you don't already have them. They are a staple, I think. So there's one cute little card. Let me just move these to one side. I'm going to pop these on there and I shall do a clean up when we've finished. And of course you've got this other just simple little floral image in there, which again, right back at the beginning of this catalogue, I used for a share. I don't even know whether I've got that card on hand. I've got some of the shares that originally came through when this catalogue first launched. But no, I can't see that one. But I used that lovely floral image as part of a share that I did way back at the beginning of the catalogue. So yeah, do get 12 months ago nearly. Don't miss out on that. Let's have a play with some butterflies. You can never have too many butterflies. And this set, boy, does it give you a lot of butterflies. So you've got this one big stamp, all the little bits just there, look. And the one big stamp gives you 6 butterfly images. Now you can stamp that as it is, or you can die cut those butterflies out individually. It is entirely up to you. And then we have got the butterfly stamps. So one die is a big die that will cut out all of those 6 butterflies. So you can stamp them onto one piece of card and then die cut them all out. But the other thing you've got in here are all of these little detail butterflies that are just stunning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 large butterflies, 2 little butterflies, and then you've got these sort of background textured pieces. So this will cut you out a brick wall, like you can see our stencil just here, and this will cut out these sort of slits, this pattern into your background, and then this one will cut you sort of splatters out of the background. So a really comprehensive butterfly die set, giving you so many options, and again currently available as a bundle. Will be available in the new catalogue, but you will need to get them separately. So let's have a think. I think this stamp set is always one that it's worth grabbing your Stamparatus for, because it is such a big stamp. We have got the really big block, but that can be quite hard work to get an even image with. So let's pick up our stamp. Now, decisions. I am going to grab some embossing powder. Embossing powder of the black variety. I'm going to cut a piece of card to 14.4 by 10, so a piece of basic white card. No, actually, I don't want a piece of basic white card. I actually want a piece of shimmery white card. So I'm going to cut a piece of shimmery white card to 14.4 by 10. Now, obviously, our shimmery white card will take a bit of battering with like watercolours and those sorts of things. You can add water to it without it, or a certain amount of water to it without it pilling and going to line that up in the bottom corner here. Yep, I think that will do. So I've lined it so that this corner is in that bottom corner. That is resting up that side line here. This is resting across this bottom line here. So I know what my starting point is. Because StazOn, which is what I'm going to use, isn't necessarily the easiest ink to stamp with. It is an alcohol-based ink, and the solvent in it evaporates quite quickly. It's a big old stamp. I'm going to stamp that up hopefully quite well. And let's see how we go. Give it a good press. While that's sitting there, I'm just going to pop the cover back on my StazOn so it doesn't start evaporating. It has actually stuck to the stamp, so I'm going to make use of that and give that a good press while it's still there. And hopefully, you see, a bit faded. Let's see if we can line it up and stamp again. It could be that my StazOn is in need of a re-ink. Just make sure I've got that in the right place. Yes. Shall we just, let's stop. Is anybody else like me, losing their wits, I think? The first thing we did here was we got out some embossing powder, so I don't want my StazOn at all. Bear with me one moment. I need a minder. I'm just going to give this a bit of a rub. And we'll try again with Versamark and embossing powder, which is where we intended to start. The joys of being live. I'm just going to turn this piece of cardstock over. Let's line that up just there, which is about right. Right, ignoring our stays on, let's take our Versamark and let's ink up our stamp with our Versamark ink. Now, unlike stays on, Versamark is a sticky ink, so it contains quite a bit of glycerin, which makes it sticky, which means things like embossing powders and pastels and those sorts of things will stick to the image, which is just what we want to happen. So let's press that down nice and firmly. And actually, if you do struggle with getting a nice image with stays on and you want something that you can watercolour within the image, so we have got a bit of black on there, which we're not going to worry about because it's going to be black anyway, but hopefully it is also sticky. So let's take our black embossing powder. Now, I was very brave, foolish, and I haven't embossed the background on this. That I didn't use my buddy on the background. So let's see how foolhardy that was. Let's sprinkle. Get a bit of a knock. Oh, I think not too bad. So there we have our black images in the background. Not sure how sensible heat embossing was this morning. I'm already fairly warm. Let's just get rid of some of this excess powder, because obviously as we heat it, it will turn as well. Just heat up the heat gun. And let's melt that powder. So it's sort of made up of lots of little plastic granules. And we literally are just melting it, and as it melts, it sticks to the card. And gives a nice bold black image in the background. Been watching a thread about starting stamping, your first experiences of stamping. One of the very early things I did was heat embossing. I think using the metallics, using gold or silver is probably the most magic. And that was the thing that absolutely got me hooked, was heat embossing. Right, have we embossed all of that? I do think so. Okay. So now, I'm going to grab some colour. On for a selection of brights. Let's have some butterfly brilliance. Let's have a play with some bright colours. And just going to open these up. I think we've got some Mango Melody. I've already got some in the lid just there. Let me give my honey apple green a bit of a squeeze. Some Melon Mambo. Some gorgeous grape. And of course, that's one of the lovely things about our stamp pads, is the way that you very quickly get this palette. You can't see the gorgeous grape one there, but it's just there. Get a palette of ink that you can play with. I'm going to squeeze some water into each of these. Let's come in with some Mango Melody. Now we have our embossed outline there that isn't going to go anywhere. It isn't going to move when we add colour over the top. My stamping scrub here, I'm just going to use that to wipe my brush off onto. Let's come in with some Melon Mambo in there. It's quite wet and they're sort of blending together, but that's all fine. What colour to have where? Bit of Coastal Cabana in there, sort of slightly greeny. Colour. And I think I'll add in a bit of gorgeous grape. My daughter and her family are off to a butterfly farm today. I wonder if they'll see any butterflies that look anything like this. Possibly not. But that's the wonder of being creative. You can create your own, can't you? Come in with a bit more gorgeous grape up here. This time I think we'll team that. Let's have a bit of Mango Melody. That was a bit blobby round the edge, but never mind. We're just adding down some colour. We haven't had any Granny Apple Green yet. Let's bring in a bit of Melon Mambo with our Granny Apple Green. Could add a bit of yellow in as well. Let's come in. Mango Melody down this centrepiece. Perhaps a little bit just on the tips come down the bottom here. I'm going to turn it round a bit just so that it fits on my mat and stays in the screen. Have a touch of Mango Melody in the middle there, I think. Have that coming out to a touch of Gorgeous Grape. And then we'll finish off on the edges with some Coastal Cabana. And this last little butterfly down here. Bit more Mango Melody in the middle. And then let's bring in Granny Apple Green. There we have lots of bright, bold butterflies on that background. I'm actually going to add some more water to this Coastal Cabana, make it very watery. And then just add a bit of colour in the background. So not being particularly fussy, just moving some of that colour around. Just curving that. It's curled up where it's been heated. Be curled up slightly where it's warm. Pick up a little bit of Mango Melody, and I'm just going to add some splatters. Oh, that was a bit of a big splatter in the background. And I may do the same with a bit of Melon Mango. Let's just pop down these lids for a moment. I'm going to cut a black card base. Because that will help that to pop. us forever get rid of our strange stays-on butterflies that we didn't need to stamp in the first place, I am going to grab the very big F block, because I'm going to stick this on here. Wiggle that slightly, then I'm going to take my F block and press. Like that. Now this stamp set is just purely butterflies, so we don't have any greetings in there. I think we'll pick up the "You Are Absolutely Amazing," which comes from the contour stamp. And I'm going to grab some white embossing powder. So this time I'm very definitely going to grab a embossing budgie. We obviously don't sell these anymore, but they are quite readily available. Let's pick up our "You Are Amazing" stamp. And grab a block. And we will ink that up with Versamark. Now I do always decanter my embossing folders into boxes and pop a little spoon in. Where did that little brush go? I'm going to be staring at it, I'm sure. Pop the lid on the embossing powder so that we don't lose that. Found another one. Okay, so let's just... Okay, let's get our heat gun. Just spotted the original paintbrush dropped on the floor. You're absolutely amazing. Will that fit in the little thing? I think it will. This is the smallest contour die, and it doesn't actually cut until you get to the outer scalloped edges. You're absolutely amazing. Going to take some of the black twine, which comes from our Essentials twine pack. And we'll have that coming underneath our sentiment just here somewhere. Let's add that bow on there with a glue dot and twiddle it a little bit. And then let's take some dimensionals. And add those over the top. Let's take some of these classic matte dots. We'll add a few little black dots in. And I'm going to take two of these little butterflies. And let's find I think it seems to be the law that when you want a mini dimensional, you pick up the large, and when you want the large, you pick up the mini. Then we'll have this little butterfly just here. So I'm just putting one mini dimensional in the middle. So its wings are free to fly. And we'll have those on there. So that is that just using that gorgeous stamp, adding in some, sorry, can't get rid of this little hangy strap thing just here. Yeah, adding in some of those little butterflies, using one of the scallop contour rectangles, and just black embossing powder and a bit of watercolouring, just slapping it on. Yeah, really beautiful card for someone who is amazing. And there we are, there's our other card from that scallop contour set. So do make sure that you grab your bundles, and I will grab the ink pads off the floor in a moment. Do make sure you grab your bundles while you can still get them at bundle price. Don't miss out, because that 10% you could be spending on something else. Very important. So, thank you for joining me this morning. Have a fabulous Easter weekend. I probably won't be here on Monday morning, Easter Monday, but I'll try and come in on Tuesday instead if I'm able to. But yes, if not, I'll perhaps pop a pre-recorded video up for you. But have a fabulous weekend. I hope the sun shines for you wherever you are, and that you get to eat lots of chocolate if you're able, and if you enjoy it, or whatever it is that tickles your taste buds. But thank you for joining me this morning, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon.